Hi, Bishop Moore community. Welcome to this next installment of our Movies in Review. This week, I have with me a very special guest, Morgan Mylod. Morgan, say hello.
Hey everyone, I'm happy to be here.
Morgan is a teacher at Bishop Moore. She teaches math, and we're so glad that she's a part of our school community. And to me, she's one of the most awesome people ever. So I'm glad that she's working at Bishop Moore. It's a lot of fun working with
Wow,
her.
thank you so much.
High praises, quality
You're-
people. Okay, so this week's movie is Frozen 2. This is rated PG. It was released in 2019, so fresh off the movie press or whatever they make movies with. I don't know. And it is a story by Disney, of course, and it's about the second installment in the Elsa Anna saga of Frozen. Just to give a brief synopsis of the movie, Elsa and Anna are well established. A few years have passed, and they're just living their perfect, ideal life in Arendelle. And Kristoff is getting ready to propose to Anna, and it's like everyone's happy. And then Elsa starts hearing this far off voice in the distance, and eventually it leads her and the entire Frozen crew on an adventure to an enchanted forest where they encounter some magical elements, earth, wind, fire, water, that are wreaking havoc. And they discover a dark past of their family, of their grandfather. They also discover some wonderful things. We hope that you enjoy this spiritual and philosophical look at the themes within the film and how we can learn a spiritual lesson from it. So, Morgan, you ready?
I'm ready as I'll ever be.
Oh, wonderful. So let's get right into it. Morgan, in the movie, we see a lot of themes about growth, about growing older, and we see Elsa and Anna. They're in a very comfortable situation, as I mentioned, but then that situation is disturbed by the calling of a voice and a journey. What does that change in their scenario signify most to you?
So when I first watched the movie, I did recognize a lot of themes of discernment or trying to figure out what God's calling you to. With Elsa, she's hearing this voice off in the distance, and in the song that she sings about it, she's like, I hear you, but I'm ignoring you, and I know that if I listen to this, that I'm gonna risk everything. And but it's really cool because she ends up finally listening to the voice, and it brings her on this great adventure, and ultimately
Yeah.
brings her to her mission, her destiny. So
There was a specific quote in the movie, um, and it kind of surfaced again and again. Eventually, there was a song based around it, and I believe the quote was, "Do the next right thing." And I think
mhm.
that this theme in the movie and this message from the movie is so important and really touches on the way to be when we're in that uncomfortable zone of discernment. Do you want to talk more about that and kind of your reflections on that?
From my own experiences, focusing on the task at hand, um, focusing on today and not on tomorrow, and that is much more easier said than done. And I think that's what this particular song is getting at. And I have some of the lyrics here in front of me, that I just want to read, but
Great.
um, it says, take a step, step again. It is all that I can do, the next right thing. I won't look too far ahead. It is too much for me to take, but break it down to this next breath, this next step. The next choice is one that I can make. Um, and I think that's so important. Focus on what's right in front of us, and trust that what's right in front of us is from the Lord.
Yeah, absolutely. And that you know they kind of talked about this darkness. That song when it takes place, Anna's she's stuck in a cave and
Yes.
Olaf's just died, spoiler alert.
She's all alone.
Oh, so sad. And yeah, she's in the darkness, and it's kind of one of the darker moments in the movie, but that's using the cinematic power of light to show that, yeah, as human beings, even for a good person, we experience darkness, dark times. There's loss, there's pain, there's suffering. And when we're trying to right wrongs, when we're trying to do the right thing, sometimes we're not going to know the exact path. When we're trying to discern what the right thing to do is, what the right choices in life are, we're not going to know immediately what that's going to be, or there's going to be a lot of risk involved. And yeah, you can only, I think the Lord only expects us to do what we can with what we have. You know, we don't have superpowers, and we can't see the future. So all we can do is the next best thing, or the next right thing.
Next
Next
right.
best thing or next right thing? Which one was it?
The next right thing.
So Morgan, what would you say is the good news about Christian discernment?
Oh man. I would say the good news about Christian discernment is that the Lord is not going to drop you. And that's something that I have to like tell myself minute to minute. As someone that like has a lot of anxiety about discernment and like doing the right thing and like wanting to just do whatever the Lord wants. The Lord is not going to drop you. And he's even if you are misstepping, if your intentions are right, if you love the Lord, if you're praying, if you are if you are, you know, if you are doing the right thing, the Lord is not going to let you fall.
Hmm. He's not going to let you get frozen.
He's not exactly. Full circle. There it is.
Well, thanks so much for reflecting on this movie with me. I really appreciated having you as a guest.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I had such a good time.
And do you want to give any shout outs to your students, or tell them to do their homework or something?
Um, my students, if you're watching this, I love you all so much. I miss you. I can't wait to see you in August, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Do your homework.
Well, thanks so much, folks, for joining us for this review of Frozen 2. We hope you enjoyed it and that you'll take some time to watch this movie from the spiritual lens of discernment and see how in your life are you dealing with the fears and trepidation of following the Lord's call. How are you dealing with kind of the realities that are put in front of you, the self-discovery that God calls you to in your own life, and that you will also have these songs stuck in your head after you get done watching the movie.
Amen.
All right, Morgan, I'll see you later. Thanks for joining me.
Bye, Peter.